Hello Kimbo's, welcome back to another video. If you're new, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell down below so you're notified every time I post a video. Become a Kimbug. What are you doing? And without further ado, we can hop right into this video. So this is a long-awaited video. Everybody has been asking me, can you update us? Can you update us? Can you update us? I am here to update you guys. So before I get into this video, I do want to put out a disclaimer. I will not be revealing everything. I just will be revealing everything that you need to know in order to prepare for OCS. On top of that, I am just giving you guys my experience. I'm not here to tell you guys that your experience will be the same as my experience. You will have a different experience than I will, just because different circumstances, different times, different staff, different everything. So with that being said, take my advice with a grain of salt. I'm just giving you guys an invitation, a understanding, just clarification on all the questions surrounding OCS, because OCS, when I entered in, was a big blur. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I really didn't know anything about what I was going to experience. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the experience, is that initially you're not really supposed to know. You're just supposed to, you know, be able to adapt quickly, learn from mistakes and grow from them, and being able to think on your feet. It's really what OCS has taught me, being prepared for every situation even before you know it's coming. Okay, so with that being said, let me go ahead and tell you guys my experience with OCS. So let me pull out my notes because it's a lot. And I do want to say this: if I made it through and you are thinking about it, or you already got your date that you're gonna go, if I made it through in one piece, perfectly fine, you should too. So I will be talking to you guys about first part of OCS, which is the indoctrination phase. The very first phase that everyone's like, oh, it's like the worst phase. It really is the worst phase. If I'm being honest, I mean, like, I was stressed the whole time, but this is honestly the worst phase, and I think because of what happened to me. But I'll give you guys a story time on what happened to me. I'm just gonna give you guys like the spiel on indoctrination phase. So I got to Rhode Island on the 23rd of September because my OCS start date was September 25th, 2022. So it is now what, February 20th. So as you can tell, I spent a little bit too long. I graduated January 27th and I got there September 23rd. So as you can tell, you guys already know that I rolled, and I rolled in indoctrination phase. But I'm gonna give you guys a story time on why I rolled. I slept in the Navy Gateway. So at the airport, I landed in the airport at Providence, and I actually had someone there with me that had a Navy travel card, and they like paid for our taxi to get to Rhode Island. It was just a look at a draw. Like, I got an easy ride. I stayed at the Navy Gateway Inn, which is on the base. It's like right there at the entrance. And I did walk. I walked from there to Nimitz Hall, which is where you check in at. Nimitz Hall is on base. I stayed overnight at the hotel, and then I woke up. I was gonna go, so you can check in between 8 a.m. and 1600. So you got like a lot of leeway when you want to check in. I was like, the day before, I was like, I'm gonna check in at like 3 o'clock, so that way, you know, I can just, but I was like so nervous. Y'all, was so nervous. I definitely cried when I left the airport, when they dropped me off at the airport. I was so nervous because I did not know what to expect. I did have a group chat, which luckily, if you guys go on Air Warriors. You'll probably find your class there. And then we made a group me from, not a group me. We made a little separate group chat on the side to like get to know each other from the class coming in. I came in with 04 TAC 23, which was the 4th class in 2020, in the fiscal year of 2023. And we had a little group chat, and I got to like, you know, meet everybody. And so I actually ended up walking over with 2 people from my class, my original class. We walked over there to Nimitz because I was so scared to walk over there by myself. I also didn't know where I was going. I did have a map that Navy Gateway Inn gave me, but I ended up checking in at 12, which I really wish that when I did it, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I checked in, because like you can't use your phone. Like I thought I was gonna be able, because I realized that they weren't gonna take our phone when we checked in. So when we checked in, I assumed I was gonna be able to still use my phone when I got to my dorm. There was hardly any signal. So my tip to you guys is get everything out your system before you go check in, because you have your phone. You have to have your phone for that whole first week, because you're doing like medical stuff. They want to make sure you got all your bills and stuff straightened away, and then they give you that last phone call. So they let you keep your phone for that. For us, we got to keep our phone for like that whole week, and then we had to turn in it. But we got that last phone call. We could call people and be like, hey, I made it, all this jazz and all that. But if you did want to use your phone, make sure you do it before you get there or before you check in. Also, I do want to say, go to the Next, get you your last meal in from Subway, or go off base and get your last meal wherever. Go get your last meal. And I didn't go to go get my last meal, and I thoroughly regretted it as soon as I checked in. I was just so nervous to the point where I was like, I'm just not gonna do anything. I don't know where I'm going on this base. And I was so timid and so shy to just go out and go explore on my own. But I had like luggage, and I was just like, I just want to go check in so that way I don't have to be responsible for myself right now. That's all that was going through my head. I just like, I need to check in. I need to check in. I need to check in. And I was like, I don't want to not walk over there. Like, I don't want to get lost on the base. Like, I want to be able to walk over there with someone. So that's another reason why I checked in at 12 noon. But anyhow, they made me dump all my stuff out, like that was like contraband. So like if you had any contraband, they're gonna tell you to throw it away. So that's what I was taking out of my bags, like my gum and yeah, I think that was it. I think I only had gum or something. But if you like candy or something like that, they're gonna make you throw that away before you even get inside. And then they check you in, and oh, also before you go check in, also go to the Next and get you the phone cards for OCS, which are right there at the register. It's like on the little swivel thing with all like the gift cards and stuff like that. Go buy you some phone cards, because you're gonna need those for Jock Face. Yes, go junior officer candidate face. You're not gonna need those for junior officer candidate face. So make sure when you go to the Next, before you go check in, make sure you already have the phone cards, because those run out. And like the time that you're gonna need them for Jock Face, they're not gonna be there. So just go ahead and get those now while you have the availability. They're only $10 a pop. So just get you like two $10 phone cards, get you your last Subway meal or wherever you want to go before you go check into OCS. Okay, and then they also, when you checked in or whatever, they walk you inside, and I had to give them my COVID vaccine card. At the time, I don't know if they're still doing this, but you do have to go on a 14-day like cleanse if you don't have your COVID vaccine card. They make you like stay in like a separate dorm, and like you have to stay there for 14 days before you can check in. So I'm glad I had my COVID vaccine card, because they would have had me stay for an extra 14 days, and I didn't want to do that, because then you would have to automatically roll. And then they made me fill out a small piece of paper, and it had like my name, and asked if I was allergic to anything and things like that, and they taped it for me, and then they told me to hold on to it and to keep it with me, because that is an important thing that I'm going to need. And They also had me escorted by Candio all the way up to, so a Candio is a candidate officer. They basically help you with the process throughout the indoc phase. And they just basically are there to basically babysit you, help you with anything you need, answer your questions that you have, just get you prepared for evolutions, basically is what they do. And you know, all that stuff. They teach you the ropes, basically. They're basically people who are about to graduate in 3 weeks, and their job is to cater to you. So use them to your advantage, because they are going to be your most important source during indoctrination phase. They basically escorted me up to the 3rd floor. I had to lug all my bags because there's no elevator. I had a big suitcase that I had to lug all the way up there. Also, I'm gonna be giving you guys a packing list. I'm gonna give you guys a packing list because it's so crucial, okay? I don't know how to pack, and I literally packed everything because I was scared that I wouldn't have what I needed. And me in an environment where I don't have my phone, I can't reach my loved ones, I don't have any access to anything. I wasn't gonna be over here lacking, okay? I was gonna bring everything, okay? So I heard that I was gonna have a 2-drawer, which is like a 2-drawer little thing, and you're able to like stuff the stuff that you need in there, like that can't be shown out. And I was like, I'm gonna pack everything that I need, okay? So I ended up packing my whole house, and basically when I got up there, after I lugged my bags up the stairs, it was awful, he sent me to my room. I had my name taped on there. I saw that I had a roommate, which turned out to be my favorite person during OCS. And they basically had like a little bed, a little rack, had a 2-drawer, and it had a desk and a chair, and they also had a bathroom area and a sink. And then I also had a shower, a joint shower that I shared with the people across from me. I mean, not across from me, beside me. And it also had a what do they call it? What do they call it? Anyways, it was a locker that you put like your uniforms in, which you don't have any uniforms when you walk in there, but you will eventually have uniforms. And yeah, so you're gonna want to have civvy clothes. You're gonna want to have civvy clothes because they're not gonna distribute any clothes to you that first day. Like the next day you go and you get all your uniforms and stuff like that. But in your hatch was name tape, canteen, and an OCS booklet. Right outside my door was actually a little taped up thing, and it had the honor code. No, was it honor code? It was the honor code? No, it wasn't the honor code. No, it had the discipline ditty. You need to learn Appendix Bravo. I don't know if you guys already have access to that, but it's very easy to find. It's on the OCS website. Just make sure you know Appendix Bravo and you know discipline ditty, all that jazz that goes into the Bravo, because you're gonna need to know that for your 3rd evolution in indoctrination phase, which is RLP. And originally, before I came to OCS, everybody was like, oh my God, RLP is like the worst thing in the world. Honestly, they made me terrified for RLP. Like, I feel like RLP was the most frightening thing the whole time I was in indoctrination phase, because I was just like shaking in my boots. And let me tell you this now, don't underestimate RLP, which is basically room locker and personnel inspection. They inspect your room, they inspect your physical ability, and they inspect your knowledge. So it's a whole lot of culminating. It's basically a culminating event from everything that you learn in indoctrination phase. So it like puts everything together, and it's like, what can you give us? What did you learn? And basically that is what ROP is, which is the last thing that you'll do in indoctrination phase, which is the 3rd week that you're in indoctrination phase. Because every phase is broken up in 3 weeks. I don't know if people have already told you that, but it's indoctrination phase for 3 weeks, jock phase for 3 weeks, sock phase for 3 weeks, candy up phase for 3 weeks. Hopefully I'm not confusing you guys, because it's like now that I've been through OCS, like all the terms make sense to me now. So anyways, yeah, so you check in all that stuff, you meet your roommate, you meet your hatchmate, and you meet your people across from you and beside you. That first day was rough. It was very, very rough. My bed was not originally made. I did have my sheets that they gave us. So they gave us a pillow, they gave us sheets. My bed was not originally made. I didn't make it yet until the I don't even know who walked in to inspect, my chief. And anyways, he like just basically just inspected to make sure we didn't have any like contraband still with us and things like that. As soon as I did check in though, they did send me to go get a meal. So I had like a little sandwich. It was more bread than meat. It was actually just meat and bread and cheese, but I don't eat cheese, so yeah, that was a lot. Also got fruit. I got a little Nutri-Grain bar, and I had a canteen that was filled with water. They showed me where to go get my canteen filled at, and I had to wear this glow belt, which is a belt that you have to wear at all times. If you take it off, they're gonna assume that you DOR, which is drop on request, which you can drop on request at any time. People drop on request is normally because it's just not what they expected. Any type of reason, you could just not want to be there anymore. You could just always just be like, you just go up to staff, or you go up to a candy and be like, I want a DOR. So you do have that option at any time. Anytime you want to do it, you can do it. However, if you do DOR, it does take a lot of processing time before you can actually leave, like actually physically leave OCS. And they do counsel you, they do make sure that this is actually what you want. So there's a lot of steps involved with DORing, but just know that you do have that option if you do decide that you want to drop on request and not be there anymore. The next day, I can't exactly remember everything that happened, but you do wake up early every morning. Every single day that you're there. For 13 long weeks, you will, sometimes longer. You might be there for, if you roll, like I did. Every single day you wake up early. The first week, it was just tiring because it's a lot of medical stuff. You gotta go get shots and you gotta go get checked up, and it's just a whole lot of tiring stuff, and you gotta study for Bravo. It actually does make your life a little bit easier when you do know Bravo. So try to consume all of Bravo as much as you can. I really didn't know that much of Bravo when I went in. I honestly underestimated OCS, but I learned fast. And you will be surprised at yourself, because you'd be like, there's no way I'm going to retain all this information. Trust me, you will. Honestly, the staff isn't really isn't like hounding you like they would, like everybody probably is already telling you. Staff doesn't really bother you too much the first week. It's more just trying to get you medically cleared. They can't really RPT you, which is basically they just work you out. They can't drop you on your face. They can't do any of that stuff yet, because you have to be physically, mentally cleared. So that's really all that happens in that first week. You do get distributed. You do go and have like a talk. You get this, you do have an option to get this credit card from the Next to pay for your uniform. So it's $3,500, and you just pay it back at the end, and that is when you get paid, because they also gain you in that first week too. They put all your financial information in, so that way you're able to get paid as as quickly as possible. You should be seeing your checks roll in, I think it was like after 2 weeks. They also give you all your equipment, like your stamping kit that you'll need for your clothes. They give you like and don't stamp your clothes until your whole class comes to a unanimous decision on the things, and you know from your class team. Your class team is basically made up of chiefs. It's basically made up of a chief or chiefs. I had 2 chiefs my second time around, and then a DI, which is a Marine, a drill instructor, which you'll be doing drill for jock phase. You'll be competing for drill and jock phase, but you also will be handed a rifle during indoc phase to practice with your DI. I think that's starting that second week, you start drill practice. And then you also have a class officer, which is more likely a lieutenant. You'll do medical from that Sunday to that Thursday, and then Friday is the first event, which is First Friday. I passed First Friday, and that's when like they can start beating you, and they start like actually like doing things like that. You will have PT. You will have PT every morning after First Friday, and then immediately after First Friday is training country, which is basically where they wake you up early that Monday morning, and they take you around training country and show you all of training country. I personally have never done training country the whole time I was there. And I will tell you guys that in the story time. And I will also in the story time give you guys my information about H class, because I was in holding company and I also was in the hospital for a week, but I'll give you guys that story time. That second week, you'll start drill practice. You do go to the galley, which is the food place that they take you to get meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You cannot have snacks. You cannot have any type of treats or anything like that, snacks, sweets, any of that. So you only eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and make sure you eat enough because you will be hungry. And then after training country is the next culminating event, which is fast cruise, which if you roll for fast cruise, if you roll for First Friday, you know, it's okay. Okay, fast cruise was actually pretty fun. So was First Friday. I hope you guys enjoy it. Fast cruise, and then that's when you get out of your PT uniform. So after First Friday, you get out of your PT uniforms because you just wear PT uniform after that. And then once you pass First Friday, they make you wear the end-ups, which is the end-up pants, and then your PT shirt. And you'll also be switching between your Go Fasters and your boots, which your Go Fasters are just your running shoes or whatnot. And then once you pass fast cruise, you end up going to ROP mock inspection, which is basically you stand on a grinder, all the chiefs and senior chiefs and all that, and they come out and they inspect you like you're doing a mock ROP inspection, but they don't actually beat you. They just ask you questions, inspect your uniform, and if you don't do well, they send you to the pit, which you'll be familiar with the pit already because of training country that Monday. And then once you get done with that mock inspection, the next evolution is ROP, which is what I told you guys about for ROP. I'm not going to give you guys the inside scoops on ROP. I just wanted to give you guys on ROP or the other evolutions. I just wanted to give you guys information about what to expect during indoc phase. I did forget. Let me add a couple more things. Sunday, Monday, and then that Tuesday, you have your first evolution. My bad. It's your IST, which is your initial strength test. And basically it's your your push-ups, your plank, and your mile-and-a-half run. And that's what a lot of people fail to realize, is that you gotta prepare more than just your IST, because First Friday is not like the IST. Fast cruise is not like the IST. It's more of like a HIIT workout, and you have to be able to do a HIIT workout for more or equal to or a little bit more than 10 minutes. I'd say over prepare so that way you're not under prepared. But the first Friday, the fast cruise, ROP, all those are 10 minutes long, and they're non-stop exercises, burpees, push-ups, planks, so many other mountain climbers. That is what gets a lot of people indoctrination phase, because they're not physically fit enough, and which is why a lot of people roll. But I did get the timeline mixed up, which is why I should always write notes. For the IST, they have certain criteria for depending on your age and depending on your gender. The first day that I did ROP for the first time, I auto-filled, which you can auto-fill for like having water on your sink, or hair on your sink, contraband in your clothing. I had a tissue in my jacket pocket and I auto-fill for that. Second day I passed. A lot of people fill for auto-fills for ROP, which is the heavy hitter. You do have a strike system. So our OCS has a strike system. And if you fail an event, so say you roll for First Friday and it's not a medical reason, if you medically roll, it doesn't count against you. But if you roll due to failure to perform, so you get 6 strikes, but if you fail that 5th time, you're out of there, you know? So you get a total of 6 times that you can fail. However, for each event, you're able to fail up to 3 times. But in total, 6 times. Indoctrination phase is really the most physical part of OCS, and then it goes into the educational section in jock and sock phase, which is why you have all these other different tests that you take. But Indoc phase is the only phase that really tests you physically on a higher level. You still get tested physically with the different PRTs that you take for each phase. But Indoc phase is the most physical. You are able to do laundry. There's a laundry room that's free. You don't have to pay for any, like actually insert the coins to wash and dry your laundry. You do have to have your own laundry detergent and fabric softener, all that stuff, which I bought at the day before I checked in. You did get a lock for your 2-drawer once you like get all your stuff distributed to you. I brought my own blanket because those blankets are terrible. I ended up, putting my blanket in there after every morning before we woke up for Reveille. There's also this whole thing with the galley. So you have this whole procedure thing that you also have to learn on top of your Appendix Bravo. And basically it's just like a whole ordeal that takes like 10 minutes to do before you walk into the galley. And then you have to like hold your hand out once you get to your table and get your food. You have to like walk sideways down the freaking assembly line to get your food, and it's just a whole big old thing. You have to hold your tray with your elbows tight to your ribs and walk down to and like do your crab claw with your so like you have to have 2 cups and you have to hold your tray. You got a crab claw and you got to walk down to it's a whole big old thing, guys. Whenever you get through OCS, please let me know how that went for you. Not only do they like make it very uncomfortable for you to eat, but you also only get 12 minutes to eat in the galley. You will have a section leader every day. How did I forget this? You have a section leader every day, so you will eventually be a section leader. So make sure you know your galley procedures. There will be RDCs, there will be DIs in there that will shark you. It's a whole lot of fun, honestly. But anyways, this is this whole big old ordeal. You guys will know that when you get there. You don't automatically go to the galley to eat, though. I know they changed it where they start introducing the galley and the procedures that you have to do to get your food and all that earlier. But when I went to OCS, we didn't get to go to the galley until the night before First Friday. Hopefully I did not miss anything from Indoc phase. I didn't want to explain too much, but I did want to tell you guys what you were going to get yourself into when you entered indoctrination phase. If I did not, make sure you ask your questions down below, and I will be sure to incorporate it into the part 2 when I am talking about transitioning from Indoc phase into jock phase. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope I covered everything. I didn't want to be too long, but this is about to be a long video just for an intro to Indoc phase. And hope to see you guys in the next one.